Right, today is the 16th of March, and as you can see, the sun is shining. The temperature is about 13 or 14 degrees, and the magnolia is blooming, and I'm wearing my lovely Hawaiian shirt. So spring must be here, and although everyone is talking doom and gloom about the coronavirus, touch wood, we are okay so far. So we are continuing to do our thing. And in fact, because of the virus problem and many people are isolating themselves, we found a surge in our internet business because everyone wants to do the hobby in the home while they're isolated and kept apart from everyone else. So I'm going to show you and take you around for a little walk around the nursery because this is a lovely time of the year. And here we go. I will now take you for a walk and show you what is around the nursery. So here I am taking you for a little walk around the nursery. This big trident of mine, which stays out in the open all winter, we never put it away. We don't put our tridents away. So this year we've had temperatures as low as -7, -8, and I have not repotted this tree this year. And look at the buds, they're all beginning to show. So I'm going to take you for a walk around the nursery. I showed you a trident which was only just leafing, but here just next door to the one that I've just shown you, that one is hardly in leaf. But look at this one, this is completely in the open, and this one is almost completely in leaf. So I always reckon that every tree is different. They all behave differently with slight differences in the time the leaves come out, because every plant is individual, and that is a Deishojo. And look at the beautiful, beautiful, lovely red tips of the leaves. This is also in the open. It's not been put away throughout the winter. The larches, by the way, haven't started leafing yet, although the tips of the trees are showing green, but they haven't started to leaf, not fully in leaf. That is my great big cedar forest. This is my very favorite and famous windswept larch, but now it is really like a semi-cascade tree. This is the one that I use the pressure washer to show you how I can jet the lichen off the branches, and this is also beginning to leaf. As I walk through the nursery, I will show you all the different conditions of these different trees. Many of these pines were kept under shelter, hence they are so green. Normally they get a slightly yellow tinge because the winter frost gives it the frost blush. And here we have another larch, slightly more advanced condition. This I'm going to show you as another YouTube video, how to prune the branches and how to make this look a little better. So that's going to be a subject of a future YouTube video. Now let's walk a little further into the nursery. Now these maples have been outside all winter, but they are not yet in leaf. Another of my very big maples, not yet in leaf. This trident, again in the open. It's only about 20 yards from the other one, but this one, the leaves have hardly started opening. And yet I have another trident in the open which has almost all the leaves completely open. More pines, more junipers. I'm going to show you a massive great forsythia. This is one I dug up from the field about 4 years ago. And 2 years ago, or was it last year, I did show some pictures on Facebook of it flowering. So this was just a stump. This was taken out of one of our hedges, and look at the size of the trunk. This trunk is every bit 18 inches in diameter. That pot is about 2 foot long, And this is a forsythia made from a stump of the forsythia bush, and it flowers every year. I trim it hard back in the middle of summer so that the branches don't get too long. So this is in its full glory. This is a mountain maple, but this hasn't started leafing yet, although the buds are beginning to appear. Make a note of these maples, because when I go into my unheated greenhouse, you will see the condition of the leaves of the maples in the greenhouse. The greenhouse is only a couple of degrees warmer, but they are in spectacular leaf. All of the leaves have opened. I'm now going to walk into another area where I have a lot of the winter flowering of Fuji Cherry, and the Fuji Cherry are beginning to bloom. This one is a bit lanky. I've grown it because I wanted to enjoy the flowers, but after flowering I'm going to cut about 12 inches off the top of this tree because it's much too tall, and I'm going to shorten it much more, and I'm going to take hardwood cuttings of this. I've got other Fuji cherries. Look at this one. This is absolutely spectacular. Look at the blossom on this. This is about, I would say, almost 90 centimeter across, and this tree is about 70 centimeter tall, in full bloom. Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers. Despite my age, I still enjoy seeing the spring each year. It really refreshes the soul. This was 2 Fuji cherries put together, and this is also in full bloom. And then here are the young Deshojo maples. They are in the open. They were just repotted a month ago, and they're all coming into leaf. So everything is starting to leaf, certainly beginning to leaf. It's another Deshojo. This was repotted and then we've kept it in the open, so this hasn't really been protected at all this winter. So they're emerging, the leaves are coming out with no protection whatever. Another Deshojo. That's a customer's tree. That's another big root over rock on a piece of, I think, a red type of, I think it is sandstone. This I imported many years back. Imported probably in 1993. This is one of our field-grown maples. The trunk, look at the trunk. That trunk must be about 18 inches across the nebari at the base. Trained after my twin trunk style. It's another beautiful root over rock maple. This has got a splendid shape, but not fully in leaf yet. The buds are just beginning to appear. This, of course, is our large Trident Maple. Despite the coronavirus, the planes are still flying. But sadly, EasyJet, British Airways, they've all had to cancel 75% of all their flights. Sad day, people can't travel. And my trip to Sri Lanka, which I was supposed to go to last month in February, was cancelled. So that put paid to it, but I lost a third of the airfare. So I lost over £1,000 because I couldn't travel. The airfare was £3,000, so much for the coronavirus. It has affected most people. So I will continue walking around and show you the state of all the trees that are on the nursery. Not all, most of the trees. This is a lovely red Deshojo just coming into leaf. Many of the other deciduous trees, like this Korean hornbeam clump, this is still dormant, not leafing yet. This is Wisteria, but look at the buds. The wisteria buds are beginning to swell. Look at them beginning to swell. And I would say in a month's time it should be blooming. I hope you don't feel seasick with me walking around with a camera, but I thought I'd show you as much as possible. These little larch forests, they're in leaf and they've been outside in the open all winter. I've got more Forsythia bonsai. Look at it. These again are stumps of trees, but they don't look so nice because I've let the branches grow a bit. Look at that old wood, really natural old wood. But the tree struggles on and continues to live. So we've got quite a few Forsythia bonsai lurking around. I'm now going to walk you into my polytunnel. We have 3 polytunnels and 1 shade tunnel and 2 large greenhouses. So this is our polytunnel where I keep most of the evergreens. This is that big beast that I used a crowbar and pickaxe to make into bonsai only in April of last year. Look at it now. It's in a big bonsai pot. And this is a beautiful Forsythia with large flowers. I think this variety is called Linwood Gold. And these we sell as small bonsai. Look at the flowers on them. And show you the state of our tree. These are Japanese white pines from Japan. Juniper, Chinese juniper. That big beast is a tanuki. More juniper. There's too much to see. When people come to the nursery, they get mesmerized. They get spoiled for choice. The rose bonsai have all leafed, and I would say in about 3 weeks' time they should be blooming. They should all be in full bloom. These are some of the forest groups I made for other YouTube videos. This is the view of this side of the tunnel. Now let me show you this larch. This larch has been protected in the polytunnel, but look at the state of the leaves. This is a delightful tree. This wasn't made by me, but I bought it from someone. It's a tanuki. It's a wrapped around a beautiful piece of driftwood. Look at that. If anyone would like to buy it, they're welcome to, but it is quite a lot of money. These are the Korean hornbeams. We have many Korean hornbeams. Extremely rare tree. Beautiful trunks, not yet into leaf. That is a Japanese apricot. The flowers are finished. The flowers finished about 3-4 weeks ago, and now they're beginning to leaf. I'll try and make cuttings from Japanese apricot Prunus ume, but it's not that easy. They're quite difficult to root. This is a Trident root over rock. This is a Zelkova broom, which I've had for many years. I've had it about 30 years. Very difficult to keep in good condition. More Chinese junipers with driftwood. This is one of the English yews that we create from material found on our nursery. This is all made from semi-trained trees. This juniper landscape. One of my staff are very good at creating these landscapes, and they're very popular with some of my customers. They love this landscape style. Look at some of the junipers we have. We've got some really beautiful junipers. And if you remember some of my videos where I show you the cryptomerias where they are in this winter brown color. So here we are in the middle of March. They're already turning green. Look at the green. They will all turn a bright green. Give it another 2 months and it will be deep, deep green. And I'm showing you this because the junipers are beginning to flower. Oh, look at the pollen. Look at the pollen. Pollen from the flowers. So junipers do flower. That red is a Deishojo. Deishojo is quite a difficult variety to grow. It does need protection in the western temperate countries. In Japan they grow well, but certainly in the UK and I would say parts of Northern Europe, they do get affected by frost and strong winds quite easily. So it's not an easy maple to look after. This is a huge multi-trunk Chinese juniper that I imported in 2007, 13 years ago. I love this tree, but I think it needs a thin. This is a juniper on rock. Also needs a thin. And these are fig bonsai. We grow figs to eat as well, so these are figs that are kept in here. We grow them for the fruit. More black pines. These have to be thinned out. I showed a video recently how to thin them. And these are the seeds that we have sown. They're covered under glass and just waiting for the seeds to emerge. Sometimes they emerge early, and I would say in a couple of weeks' time. This is Japanese iris. This is not maple. As soon as the seeds begin to germinate, I will show you a separate video of how these seeds germinate. I just missed something nice which you should see. This is Chinese quince, Cydonia sinensis. Look at the beautiful flowers. Look at them. These are imported from Japan. Very hard to grow in this country. I've tried to grow from cuttings. They're very slow growing, but in Japan they make trunks quite easily. So these are imported trees from Japan. They've got the lovely bark. Now I'll just walk into my other tunnel. This is just shade netting. So we keep trees here just to give the evergreens a better leaf color. It doesn't give much protection from the cold because these tunnels go to the same temperature as in the open, but because they don't get the overhead frost, the color of the trees that are kept in here tends to be much better. That's a very interesting Raft Maple. Look at it lying on the side. Great big thick trunk. This was made about 30 years ago. Just laid a tree on the side because I saw some trees which were imported from Japan like this, so I decided to make one. Many Satsuki azaleas here, being sheltered from the hard frost, but they will soon go out when the frost is over. This is a cedar forest that I made, again waiting to go in the open when it comes into leaf. Many of these trees are all made here. These are all our use that we make ourselves. This we make from this material. This is a customer's triple trunk Deishojo, about 4 foot high. When it's in full leaf, I will show it to you. This is the juniper I worked on. This is our fat trunk privet. This is the Satsuki that I repotted. And that's the famous Peter Chan split trunk maple. Not yet into leaf, but when it's in leaf, I'll take a better picture. And now we will walk into our main workshop area. This is the back greenhouse complex. And in this greenhouse, I work on many of the trees. We restyle the trees, do work on the trees. And this is where all the action happens. I have just watered this greenhouse, so it smells lovely. Look at the maple there in full leaf. Absolutely in full leaf. And at this time of the year, you can appreciate the differences in color between the different trees. So that delicate pink, that is Chidori. These green ones are straight mountain maple. And that red one, that lovely little red landscape of Deshojo, 4 Deshojos, those are Deshojo maples. This is Seigen. All these trees here with the soft pink, this is Benichidori. This one I cannot remember the name just yet, but it will come to me. Look at the beautiful leaves on this one. I think it is Higasayama. I'm not sure. Now this is Deshojo, but because it's been in leaf for so long, it's already turned that dusky color. And this was air laid from that tree. This is the parent plant for that one, which we keep air layering. You can see this one. This is real 100% Deshojo. And this tree here, this is an air layering of the other plant I just showed you. That was air laid only 2 years ago, and I keep making air layerings from that. And you can see how thick the trunk is. Absolutely thick, massive trunk. That trunk is every bit 3 inches in diameter. So I'm air layering that part to get another tree. And then I'm going to make a short tree out of this, and I'll probably air lay this as well. And that is the parent plant. That's my large mountain maple forest. This is Benichidori again. This is Benichidori. And that is Deshojo. These are Trident Maples that have been overwintered in the greenhouse. So they are in full leaf. This is Asahi Zuru. This maple has 3 colors on the same tree. Pink, cream and green. Very beautiful leaf color. That is a mountain maple raft. Those 3 trees are all connected at the base, as you can see. Look at the nebari there. It is connected by a thick root. So that is a very unusual tree. That commands very high value because of the unusual nature of the tree, connected at the base. And a tall specimen. These are all our homemade trees. These big maples are made from field-grown trees, trees that we grow in our own field. So they are not imported at all. These are maples and junipers. This is juniper on this side, maples on the left, junipers on the right. I can see a Fuji Cherry there. And we've got some huge Japanese yews which are in different states of being regrown. And on this side of the nursery, there is just a clutch of beautiful maples. Look at the rich color there. It's worth just a still picture. Deshojo, More Deishojos. And this is a beautiful mountain maple with a massive nebari. Look at that root base on this tree. Look at that root base. Absolute turtleback. That turtleback is about, I would say, 16 or 18 inches across. That pot is about, I would say, 65 centimeter long, oval pot. So there are a lot of trees here. Another big mountain maple. These are things that we make from our field-grown trees, homemade bonsai, not imported. So, and these magnolias you see, these are air layerings that I made. So I love ordinary garden plants, so there are air layerings from my big tree, which we grow on and plant out in our field or sell them on. But when we come to the open area, many of the leaves have not emerged on the deciduous trees in the outside area. So these give us time to repot should we need to repot them. What a lovely day, what a lovely day. Spring-like day. Makes us feel good. I just go down towards the side of the pond because I see some Marsh Marigolds. These are water plants and they are really delightful flowers. Look at them, they're growing on the water's edge. Beautiful yellow flowers. So with this, I will sign off. I hope you've enjoyed this little tour, and I'm keeping well, and I hope you keep well too.